In section 108, Tennyson demonstrates again the way in which he has changed over the course of this grieving time, these years that he's been writing this poem. In section 108, he says, I'm not going to waste my time grieving anymore. I've wasted enough. I've lost enough. I will not eat my heart alone, nor feed with sighs of passing wind. I'm done. It's time to move on. And it's opposite of ideas he's expressed before. Specifically, I found section 21, where he says these people are kind of, he's responding to critics that say, Tennyson, you need to move on. Life is hard. We're sorry that you're sad. And he says, I can't do anything else but sit here and grieve and write these poems. And this is where I'm at now. So in fast forward some years, and he's now kind of arguing the opposite. And it's a beautiful thing. It's good that he stuck his ground when he needed to grieve. He gave himself permission to grieve. And it's good now that he says, he acknowledges it's time to move on. He has sought. He says some interesting things here. I have searched and sought and in my mind I've kind of gone out, he says, with vacant yearning, though with might, to scale the heaven's highest height or dive below the wells of death. He has tried everything he can to try to discern where Hallam is, what existence is like for Hallam, what awaits us beyond the grave. And he says, when I get to that mountaintop, all I find, or on the depths of death, there swims the reflex of a human face, his own reflection. It's like you climb up the mountain to talk with the the sage or the guru or whatever, and you get up there and all you see is a mirror, and you're like, oh, that was a waste. I could have found myself down there. He says, all that I've done is just empty vain words now, and it's time to move on. And then this beautiful little line 15, 'tis held that sorrow makes us wise. Had he taken his friend's advice earlier and just moved on, we would have missed out on a lot, and he would have missed out on what it means to be human and the feeling of that sorrow and grief. And that has made him wise. And he's kind of going to pivot here for the little bit and think about wisdom in some wonderful ways. One last thought before I read the verse. This pivoting, taking one position and then taking the opposite position. When I was younger, I thought that inflexibility or unchanging was admirable. And in some times and in some places, it is admirable to me that a person can be constant and true to something that they hold true. But as I've gotten older, I've found beauty or a respect for changing positions and changing our minds. And in fact, I think that we should change our minds, because if not, that's what learning is. You learn something new and you have a new position. I used to really ridicule or mock politicians that would flip-flop positions. and and to be sure, some of the flip-flopping that goes on from 2 years ago or 6 months ago, you articulated the exact opposite position you're articulating now, and in another year they'll be opposite again. Some of that is disingenuous and it's politics at its worst. But humans learn, humans change, we grow, and there's some beauty in that. I'm reminded of a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson in his essay on self-reliance. He says, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. With consistency, a great soul has simply nothing to do. He may as well concern himself with his shadow on the wall. Speak what you think now in hard words, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradict everything you said today." There's good reasons to stay constant and true and committed, and there are good reasons to change and to acknowledge it when you change. And this is an example of change. Section 108. "I will not shut me from my kind, and lest I stiffen into stone, I will not eat my heart alone, nor feed with sighs a passing wind. What profit lies in barren faith and vacant yearning, though with might to scale the heavens' highest height, or dive below the wells of death? What find I in the highest place but mine own phantom chanting hymns? And on the depths of death there swims the reflex of a human face. I'll rather take what fruit may be of sorrow under human skies. 'Tis held that sorrow makes us wise, whatever wisdom sleep with thee." That last line, "whatever wisdom sleep with thee," I interpret to mean that he's acknowledging that wisdom lies wherever Hallam is now. He thinks that's where wisdom will be found in its fullest and grandest sense. So the wisdom that sleeps with Hallam, I think, is what he's referring to there.